All right, I'm back. I got us some alcohol to cauterize the wounds. I couldn't find a phone. I don't know what to do, man.
I just cut through the rope.
What?
It was just rope. It was pretty easy.
That's nothing.
Sorry, man.
Anyways, welcome to the Cool Down. My name's Robby.
I'm Corey.
And today we're going to be talking about the initial, restart of the Saw franchise.
Soft reboot, sequel,
Prequel, kind of. Jigsaw.
Jigsaw. We're talking about Jigsaw. What did you think of Jigsaw?
I liked it better than Spiral.
I did too.
That's not saying a lot.
Yeah, no. Low bar.
Yeah.
It's a low bar to get over.
It felt at least like a classic Saw film but without the early 2000s tropes and terrible editing and all that stuff.
It felt a little more cohesive.
Yeah.
And this is from the same director of
2,
3, and 4, right?
I think so.
There he is.
Yeah. It's competently directed compared to Spiral.
Exactly. Bringing back the classics.
Yeah. 2 is actually my favorite, so if that's correct, then that makes a little more sense. But
I think 1 is still my favorite,
mm-hmm.
but 2, if you include all the movies that set up the same formula, that would probably be 2 through onward.
Yeah.
Then 2 would be my favorite.
Okay.
I feel like the first Saw is kind of its own thing.
And then the rest, okay.
The rest, they evolve into something totally different.
Yeah, that's true.
This falls firmly within that landscape of those kind of bad. I don't want to say bad because they're not all bad,
but they're B movies.
They are. They're B movies. They're schlock. They're kind of garbage.
But that's kind of the fun of them. That was what was appealing about them because it happened every Halloween. You know, there's gonna be a new Saw film, so
yeah, they could crank one out once a year.
Exactly, and they were fun. They were, granted, as the years went on, they just got kind of worse and worse.
They really did.
Yeah.
Saw 3D was a mistake.
Should have never been born.
No, it shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Once they got into the crazy twists of who is running the Saw games, you check out completely at that point.
Yeah.
Take the brain, there it goes. Throw it out. It's gone.
Mm-hmm. You're really just going to these films to see the elaborate traps, and it's all about what would you do in this situation? That's kind of most of the fun with these films, to me at least.
I feel like no one could accurately predict what they would do in one of these situations.
Of course, I would get killed. I know me. I would wimp out on most of these things.
I feel like I'd like to have a little bit of thought about it, but some of them are not nearly as easy to think through as others.
Yeah.
Some of them are just like, here's another person. If you don't die, they're going to die. So they're probably going to try to kill you. And if you don't try to kill them, well, then you're going to die.
Those are kind of more simple. It's like, well, if it's about me versus someone else, it's like, okay. If you're not a good person, that's sorry. So give it bye-bye.
Yeah.
But if it's like you need to cut through your eye to get the key in order to not die, then I'm like, I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah, I don't know what I would do in one of those kinds of situations.
Yeah.
But Jigsaw here is one of those start with like 5 people, start narrowing your options down to 1 towards the end kind of.
Which is what 2 and On kind of did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess 3 was a little different.
Yeah.
3 had the one guy walking through the warehouse.
That's right.
He has different little traps.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was 5 where there was 5 of them. And 2 was the house full of people.
Yeah.
The
rest kind of meshed together.
I don't know what happened in 4. I don't know what happened in 6. I don't really know what happened in 7.
The only ones that were ever memorable to me was 1, 2, and Final Chapter. And the only reason Final Chapter was very memorable is because what's his face from Linkin Park.
Oh yeah, Chester Bennington.
Yeah, rest in peace.
He was in a car or something.
Like the back was sticking to it, and that was creative and it was gross.
It was gross.
Yeah, and also the beginning scene where they have the girl and the 2 dudes that are like sleeping with her, and it's like either save both your lives and kill her, or kill the other person because she's cheating. So it's.
I think that really takes away from what makes Saw interesting, where it's just a few people in an isolated area.
Yeah.
I don't want to see how the public would react to this.
No, I'm not saying that's a good thing.
Okay.
I'm just saying that's why it was memorable. But it wasn't good.
I definitely remember that part.
Yeah. But you're right. That's what made the first couple Saw films good, is isolated people and realistic traps that were somewhat clever, and it made it more intense. But they knew as the years went on, like I said, it's cheap, but every Halloween is gonna make a bunch of money. Let's just keep getting out there.
Exactly. They didn't need to put a lot of thought into what actually happened because it was a brand name at that point.
Exactly.
And I feel like we haven't really talked about what happens in Jigsaw a lot.
No, but
there's not a lot that happens in Jigsaw.
Not really.
It's one of those, you got 5 people. They start whittling them down. There's some cop procedural drama happening in the background.
Every time that's put on, I want to go to sleep.
It's just the worst.
Yeah.
These people are so bland and stale.
Saltine crackers.
I just wish they'd lock them up in the saw traps and see what happens.
For real.
Honestly.
I mean, one of them does get locked up.
Yeah, one of them. Well, 2 of them do, I guess.
2 of them. Yeah, that's right. Spoilers.
Yeah, we don't.
Where I'm not caring about
Yeah,
spoilers.
we
with this
don't
one.
do spoilers for cooldowns necessarily.
No.
But this is it's really boring.
Yeah.
And even like the saw traps themselves are kind of not that great.
Yeah.
The initial one is they're all chained up and moving towards the door.
That was probably my favorite, but I like the traditional sense of like that. To me, seemed realistically capable.
Right. I kind of lose it when
realistic dumb, whatever.
I lose it when the traps take up an entire room.
True.
And
it's a whole warehouse.
There's no feasible way that one person. I mean, I guess it's not one person. Spoilers for the end of pretty much every Saw movie. It's always like a team of people.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't seem like something 1 or 2 people could outfit an entire warehouse or barn or wherever they're at to be this super hyper elaborate trap that accounts for all different outcomes. Because it's something I noticed about this movie is everywhere had traps designed specifically for specific people.
They just somehow knew that person was going to land there, that person was going to do this, and not say something about a certain thing.
And like, why wasn't there, a cassette tape for the first, girl who died?
Yeah.
That'd be funny if they got to the end room and it's like, oh, she's already dead. Hey, what do we do?
How has none of these films done that? To what I remember. It's such a,
I don't know. That's really stupid. I think they really want Jigsaw to be like a genius who can plan these things out so perfectly.
He's a comic supervillain.
He really is.
Like that's what they turned him into. Initially, he was just an old guy who came up with these traps because cancer, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But then it just turned into, like I said, supervillain.
Really, really did.
Typical slasher.
And this is, I guess this happened before even the first Saw movie. But the first Saw movie is 2 guys locked up in a dirty bathroom. This movie, you've got a barn outfitted with different rooms and pulleys and chains and all kinds of different
elaborate
contraptions. And then how does that lead into 2 guys in a bathroom?
It makes no sense structurally.
Really
it's like, man, I had this complex thing. Nah, 2 guys in a bathroom.
Even the other traps in the first Saw movie, you got the crazy
I bear trap.
Reverse bear trap.
That's right.
There's the guy with all the barbed wire in the one room.
Yeah.
And then there's the other guy who's like covered in some kind of flammable jelly.
Yeah.
And like this is all just kind of, here's an empty room and here's a person. You don't have to engineer something that NASA would be proud of.
Yeah.
It's just insane.
Exactly. That's what it should be.
It is.
It's hard to talk about this movie because it's just so comparable to all the other ones. It feels more like I just want to talk about the series.
It kind of is just a sum up of all the other movies, though.
It doesn't do anything different.
No, I don't think this has its own identity at all.
No, it's just another Saw film.
It had something interesting going with the lab worker who was kind of obsessed with Jigsaw's traps.
Oh yeah.
But they didn't do anything.
She was just used as an alibi.
She really was. Yeah. Why wasn't it her?
Well, I didn't even explain, like, oh, you just happened to work with someone who's a big fan of Saw.
That guy was so not off-put by it at all. She took him to her warehouse full of all these crazy, memorabilia pieces from Jigsaw. And he's like, that's cool.
And he kind of he hints at the fact that he's the current, like, the killer. When he's like, when she's talking about the one thing, he's like, oh, the bodies weren't there. He's like, well, actually, blah blah blah, whatever he said.
Yeah, it's always very obvious who the killer is going to be.
Yeah.
Because you piece their dialogue together. They always act. They're never the bad guy.
They always make a bad guy to make you think, oh, this is gonna be the guy.
They always make a red herring bad guy character.
Yeah.
You got the boring police guy in this one, and then you got the Jigsaw obsessed girl. And you're like, oh, it's gonna be one of those, but if it looks like it's gonna be one of them, it's not them.
Never.
And it's always the person who it doesn't seem like it's gonna be. Every single one of them, even Spiral.
Yeah. And this one still does it better than Spiral as far as the reveal. And like, I did like the little thing about the slashes on his back because it makes you think that it's from him being in Fallujah or whatever that they mentioned, but it's actually because of he was the guy that off camera, you know.
Right.
That I appreciated that. That was at least mildly clever.
That was mildly clever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that's the only thing that you can really use to sum up Jigsaw. Mild.
Very mild, yes.
Meh. Even the gore isn't really, like, extreme.
No.
I mean, there's a couple after shots. You got that guy who went through the little turbine deal. And then you get to see, that guy too, but...
Oh, wait, which one?
About the guy who's going through the...
Oh, the little spinny,
little spinny thing.
Yeah, that was...
You don't see what happens, but then you see what he looks like afterwards. And that was neat. Yeah. But I would like to see, you know, what it looked like, what it would have looked like, you know.
Or when they're examining that dude, they call him Buckethead.
Buckethead, you know, the guy from the end of the SpongeBob movie.
Yeah.
That's so disrespectful too. That man has a name.
Yeah, they really kind of just... They really brushed over the fact that was a human being. They're like, oh yeah, Buckethead over there. Come on.
I get it, you work in an environment where you're just constantly opening up bodies, but like, you're that morbid?
Yeah.
But then again, that lady...
That's her character.
She's on Live Leak.
That makes sense for her.
Yeah.
But I think one of the other characters should show a little humanity and be like, hey, come on. He's got a name. But no, everyone's just like, oh yeah, it's just Buckethead.
Yeah, even the friend officer, he's like, oh, that looks kind of bad.
Yeah.
It's like it's nothing. This dude's head is completely
gone.
Yeah.
It's looking like Britney Spears in that episode of South Park.
That's perfect. It's exactly what it looked like.
And no one is distraught, even slightly. They're like, no, that's neat, huh? No.
I'm snipping this little puzzle piece. Like it's a game of Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah, really.
It moved very quickly, and I feel like not a whole lot happened. They spent, like, and this is kind of like a parallel you could draw between this and Spiral, was they spent a lot of time trying to figure out what the hell was going on, and they didn't actually do anything. And in the meantime, people were just dying.
But at least this one gave you more attention.
Yes.
Yeah, there was more attention put to the people that were actually dying and going through the traps.
Yes.
Whereas Spiral,
they're just kind of like, oh, there's a dead person. How did they get there? No one knows.
Hey, we'll show a little clip. Here he is. He's dying. No, it's fine. Go away.
Yeah. I think Spiral was kind of scared of, like Robbie and I were kind of talking about it. It was like the NC-17 rating versus the rated R, and it was like they could have done way more. Like Jigsaw was very gory. It was very gory. It was very graphic in its own way, and Spiral was just not.
Yeah.
And I feel like it really could have been without pushing that rated R rating, and it just wasn't.
Yeah, but like we talked about in our Spiral review, go check that out by the way. It's just that movie wasn't really trying to go for that. It really wanted to be a serious, semi-serious buddy cop / drama about police brutality and this, that, and the third, with having Saw elements around it, because it wanted to be like, you know, an art piece. But you got the director of like Saw 4 or 5 or whatever.
Nothing good.
You want more thoughts? Like I say, go watch the video. We're not talking about that.
Go watch
We're not talking about that.
We're not talking about Spiral. Spiral sucked.
Yeah. I like the low budget aspect of this movie, because I like that about all the other Saw films.
What was the budget of this movie though? I feel like it wasn't really that low.
That's true. But it wasn't a high budget. Like Spiral definitely had a budget.
Spiral had a high budget.
Yeah.
I mean, to get big name actors, you have to have a high budget.
And then there's more locations in that film.
Jigsaw's budget was $10 million.
That's a low budget.
As opposed to Spiral?
What is Spiral's budget?
I'm gonna guess.
$20 million US.
Oh, that's it?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll give Spiral some credit, because they probably had to pay a big lump sum for Chris Rock and Samuel Jackson.
There you go.
There was some
Samuel
decent...
Jackson was probably the
Probably.
biggest expense.
That's probably why he was only in it for like 20 minutes.
Chris Rock probably took royalties,
Mm-hmm.
but okay, that movie had more locations and it looked like it had a bigger budget because it wasn't just like 3 or 4 of the same locations back to back,
Right.
like a Saw film would have. But interesting. The more you know.
The more you know.
So Corey, what were your overall thoughts on the film?
It was okay.
Yeah.
I think as far as the rest of the Saw movies, this is kind of just middle of the road. Not super impressive, not painful to get through.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of okay.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat. If this was a Taco Bell sauce, it would be mild. This is so run of the mill. But at the same time, it's almost refreshing coming from Spiral that while it tried to be different, just didn't do anything good.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this at least still stays true to the Saw franchise. And I'd say it's at least better than some of the later Saw films.
I think if I were to watch all of the Saw movies in a row, I'd probably be a little higher up on this movie, just because I'd be coming off of, 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah.
And those are just train wrecks down there.
Mm-hmm.
So this would be like, oh wow, they actually got a little bit more cohesive.
Exactly.
But as it stands now, meh. Kind of just whatever.
Yeah.
It's not too standout, but that's okay. What do you expect from a reboot, reimagining, sequel, prequel to a series that died like 5 years ago?
It's very true. And it's the same team, so it's not like they're getting new life.
Exactly.
New life into it.
Exactly. Maybe that's what needs to happen if they are going to do something with Saw again.
Yes.
Get some, small-time, indie-budget horror movie director and have them do something.
Imagine if like a Robert Eggers or like one of who did Hereditary?
Ari Aster.
Ari Aster. Imagine someone like that getting an IP like Saw.
That'd be interesting.
That'd be very interesting.
It would be a completely different film. I mean, if Ari
Exactly.
Aster did like this,
yeah,
it would be completely different. It would be such a higher tier
It'd
of
be
horror.
kind of bonkers.
Yeah, but Saw has such a potential to be more than what it has been.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I was hoping. Sorry to bring it back to Spiral. I was hoping that was going to be at least a step in that direction, but it wasn't, and I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
I just wonder what Chris Rock had in mind for that. Like, how much of what got made was his input?
I doubt a lot, if I'm being honest.
Probably
I think I believe in him more than that.
Same.
Yeah. Top 5 was all his input, and that was a solid film. Not perfect. It was a little choppy here and there, but that at least showed that if he has a vision, he can execute it somewhat well.
Okay.
He's not a hack.
He's not a hacksaw.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
So Corey, what would you rate Jigsaw?
I would give Jigsaw 1.5 bucket heads out of 5.
Fair.
What would you rate Jigsaw?
I think I'm gonna go 2 bloomin' onions out of 5.
Ew.
Yeah, if you saw the film, you know what I mean.
It's gross.
This is gross. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what movies you want us to watch next.
Let us know what hot sauces you guys think we should try. Also, we got our first piece of fan art right here. If you decide you want to draw us or anything involving us, go ahead and send it our way. Throw it on the Instagram. We'll throw it in a video. We'll feature you. We'll make a little Instagram post about it.
Yeah,
This is beyond amazing, and
we're so tiny of a channel that like the fact that anybody took the time to just draw us, it made our month.
it really did.
Yeah, it was amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Also, we don't know what we're gonna watch next week, so leave a suggestion down below. Also, follow us on Instagram. That's how we decided to do Jigsaw. I did a little poll. I like to do polls and stuff like that, just so you can get us involved. See what you decide.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No.
Oh no.
No.
I'm done.
No,
I'm
we're
done
not.
with this franchise.
You know what? I'm just gonna cut my hand off now.
Oh no, Corey. No!
No, it's fine.